What's up, guys? We're back. So today is Sunday, October 22nd, 2023, and yesterday was a little windy, and I came out here today this morning and checked this out. This is my surprise, and at first I'm like, oh crap, it broke, but it looks like it really didn't break. It's just kind of fell over. So I gotta fix this. So I gotta do that right now. Make sure I kind of like retie it back up to kind of straighten it out, to kind of give it a chance to kind of make it again. So let's do it. Okay, here it is. I ended up tying it back up because I do have my my pole here, my stake, which is the 5-foot mark, which is right there. So this thing is really taken off, and it's getting kind of like top heavy. One thing about the surprise is that, for at least for me, it's really handling the heat really well, which is awesome. Because some of my other varieties, when it gets hot, oh, you can see the tree is just like, especially the tips are starting to kind of lean over. And this guy, I don't have that much water going to it, but just enough. I guess just enough is enough, and probably more than it needs because it's doing it well. So let's walk around. Let's kind of show you around a little bit. So it's been about 2 years since I planted this Edinger. It was around October of 2021, and this is kind of what it looks like today. And I think it's good to kind of show like whatever I planted like a year later, or at least 2 years later. So here's my Edinger, which I planted around the 21st of October in 2021. So we already got one fruit, and this year here's kind of the fruit that we have and the size of the fruit. You can see that right there? That's a good size fruit. There's one right there, there's another one like right here. I went looking around, there's probably maybe half a dozen fruit in there. So it's doing well. This thing's gonna explode with fruit next year for sure because of how well it's doing this year. So it's exciting because the fruit's pretty good, and there's more in there. And of course we're finding things like that on the ground, so it just kind of gnawed it off right there. That's an Edinger, I can tell by the fruit. Here's another Edinger fruit. See that little mark from probably a UFO. But also I've noticed I got a couple of cukes in there too. So it's interesting that the cukes are forming on like the Edinger, and also my bacon has some cukes also. It's kind of what it looks like. So it's been kind of hot. We're like in October, and I always say your trees will tell you a story. So if you look, these are like new growth, but if you look on this branch right here, you see how it's kind of like wilting. So I noticed that today, and I said, what is going on? Maybe it's not getting enough water. Yeah, so turns out my little emitter, which is right here, just had a piece of debris or something. It just kind of didn't work. So I opened it, closed it back up, and then all of a sudden it started spraying again. So it's one of those things where your tree will tell you a story, but you should always just double check your sprinklers and make sure it's running. So this was for some reason completely off, and this whole area was dry. So that's exactly why it was all kind of like wilted on that new growth. All right, so here's one of my Hass, and fruit, that's about the size right now in the palm of my hand. That's a good sized fruit already, and they're all over the place. Kind of show you around a little bit. See that? More fruit in there. There's some more in here. You see that? It's just loaded. This thing's crazy. So I wasn't planning on getting like too many Hass avocado trees. My plan was to only get 1 or 2, but because of the mislabeling. I mean, this was supposed to be a reed, and you guys know my story. This was supposed to be a reed avocado, and I ended up getting a Hass. But you know what? Pleasantly surprised. Hass is good. The flavor is amazing. It's the gold standard, right? So I think I have 5 Hass. This one's a Hass. This one's a Hass also over here. Zutano, which is, but right behind the Zutanos, this one's a Hass also. So more than I wanted, but pleasantly surprised, and is actually really doing well. So it's all good. Okay, so here's my Jan Boyce. As you know, I cut down an ash tree that was right next to it, and it was reaching up. But ever since I cut down the ash, it's kind of starting to spread out up there, which is good. That's kind of the growth habit I really wanted anyway, so that kind of worked out. I mean, I have some fruit on here, not that much, but today's the day. My plan is to plant one of those varieties that I bought that I had to really hunt for and find. So I'm probably going to put it right there, which is going to be in between my Jan Boyce, Ettinger, and Hass. So I'm going to put the Maluma right there. That's the plan. So we'll be doing that today. Okay, here it is, Maluma, and so I'm gonna plant this guy today. I do have 1 fruit on there. You can see that, but this guy is doing pretty good. I should have planted it when I first got it, but I didn't. It's just a little busy, but I have it right here, kind of next to my fence. And so part of my plan of having it next to my fence here is you can trellis the Maluma, supposedly. So we'll see how that goes. I'll play around with that. Let's get this guy planted. Okay, it's officially in. I'm just watering it in right now, but of course I did my mound, and I didn't show you the whole process, but you've seen other videos that I've done in the past where it kind of showcases that. So if you haven't seen it, go look for it. And this is the way to go, you guys, because it keeps the whole root ball above, not the whole root ball, but at least half of the root ball above grade. And it really will help kind of prevent like root rot, because you know, if you don't have really good draining soil, all of that water would sit in it at the bottom, and of course there's a potential for all of that water to kind of rot the roots that are down there. So if you keep it higher, it keeps the water pretty low and keeps your tree nice and healthy. So, and of course I just got that 1 fruit that I already showed you guys, so I'm excited about that. I don't know if this is going to stick around, but you know, I'm hoping that it does, because I do want to taste this guy and see how it goes. So we'll see. All right, here's my Mexicola. I think it's a Mexicola Grande, even though the tag was Mexicola. And it's kind of sparse, kind of sad. It's got not very many fruit. I do have 1 that is, I think, ready to be picked, which is this. And let me show you. We're picking it. So let me show you why I'm picking it, because I walked out here and I noticed this. So whatever critter, UFO, is going around eating some of my avocados, and I'm still gonna allow this to ripen up. I'm definitely gonna eat it still. I'll cut around this area, but it's a Mexicola Grande, and I got 1 fruit. First one of the year for 2023. Okay, this is my Gwen. I know it might be a little hard to see. It's kind of late. The sun's been setting a lot earlier now that winter is coming, but this thing broke by itself. This branch is so heavy from all of the weight of all of the avocados that it produced that it broke. So just this 1 branch alone is like, I gotta show the kiddos this because this is crazy. So this is why Gwens are awesome, but this is also part of the reasons why it has an issue, because it kind of fruits itself to death. So But in any case, that's what we got. This is what happened. It broke. So here's the end result of my Gwen, and it snapped off like right there. I don't know if you can see that, but so still alive. It fruits really well. That's why it was just too heavy. Couldn't handle it. But in any case, I hope you guys are having a good day. Enjoy the weekend, and we will talk later. See ya.